you talked about, you mentioned the religious affiliation. How do you think that faith plays into this? Because I have noticed a trend, and I don't know if you've noticed this or not, but it seems as if the younger generation, like the 20 somethings who are just coming into this now, they
Uh,
seem to be there is a trend of younger people going into churches, and not just any churches, um, Eastern Orthodox and Catholic, these strict religious old school type institutions. My theory on this is that they're seeing they've seen this earlier generation come up with, all of this stuff on, TikTok, Instagram, all these things happen, and they're looking at these people going, "You're all miserable. I don't want to be like you. You're
mhm.
you're lawless because you have no identity except me, 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 and you've not lived for anything else but yourself." So they go to a church, and the church imposes rules on them on how to live and behave, and like, here's a moral code that you're going to follow. And I think a lot of the younger people are like, here's a framework that is, it's almost like punk rock. It's like rebelling against the thing
Yeah,
before it, you
yeah.
know. Is that something you've seen or have been aware of?
I haven't. I'm in California. I feel like California is its own little anomaly.
It
It's all
is.
over the country. It's a entity in and of itself, right? Outside of, I feel like, U.S. norms.
Well, it's
Um,
the fifth largest economy on planet Earth. I mean,
yeah.
so there is that sort of, they don't call it La La Land for nothing.
Well,
That's
yeah.
what it's
So
probably what it is.
I want to say the things I see here are norm, but I don't feel like they are.
Yeah.
Um, so having said that, I kind of go back to something that I had learned years ago, which was when humans first started looking for answers, they went to spirituality, right? There's a God. The thunder, the lightning has to come from something bigger, something more powerful, right? And
Hmm.
then when the answers didn't necessarily come in that space, we shifted into looking at science, right? Science has got to have the answers. And then there's the conflict. And then we shift back to religion, and then we shift back to science. And so I think what we're seeing here is that social media shift into Instagram and Facebook, where people kind of lost, like you said, lost the connection, lost the rules, lost the guidance of what it means to be a quality human on some level. Um, Now people are going, okay, well, the answers weren't there either. Let's give this a go and go back.
Right.
You know,
s- oh man, I had a good follow on to that. I just lost it. That's what happens. And
I'll
I'm
come back
drinking
if it's
green tea
meant
to
to.
my coffee too.
Yeah.
Um, so so yeah, that's what I was going to say is like, do you think that a connection to some sort of higher power would be helpful to these people in general? Or, I mean, do you see that as a help or as a hindrance? And I know that's kind of like a big, like a
No,
super open-ended question there.
it is, but in reality, that's what spirituality and religion is. It's a big open-ended question, right? So
Yeah.
I've, I had a gentleman in the Mormon church once explain that spirituality and uh, awareness is like a spectrum, right? So we've got people that are on this end where they're completely asleep in some sense, right? They don't want to acknowledge that there's God or a higher power or any sense of um, divinity, right, in the universe. And then there are people that start to wake up and they find religion, and there's a religion that resonates with them, and they find answers and support and community in that. And then there are people that realize on the full end of this other side of the spectrum that um, and I say this because it's my bias, I'm just going to put it out there, that we're divine beings in a human body. And, we're all a part of God in the universe. And we're all just here having our own unique experiences that contribute to the collective whole, right? And that really
Right.
what drives all of us is love. And when you look at religions, most of them, like 99.9% of them, are sharing the same message, which is just love each other, just be kind. And it's not until man and our ego and our fears get in the way that we come up with all these rules and guidelines and what ifs to keep people in check and to adhere to the policies, if you will. So yeah, I think spirituality goes a long, long way. But I think it's individual to everyone. And I don't think that there's a right or wrong way for it to be practiced.
I think that if it helps you become a better person in general, and
Hmm.
then it improves your life, it's probably a good thing.
Right.
Um, because I like reading Stoic stuff, so that's helped my life. Actually, when one of my lowest points ever, I had this book on Stoicism, and I would read it and go, "Oh yeah." I was like, "Okay, that means I can get through this because now I have this wisdom from back in the day that these guys were suffering too, and they did it." And I was like, "All right, cool." It's like I could be a Stoic as them. Uh, I was like the world heavyweight champion of like trying to suffer, and it's like, oh, that's terrible. Why would I want to do that? I don't want to do that. I want to live. I don't want
Yeah.
to just survive. I want to thrive, and that was one of my turnarounds. Because I was like, this is a terrible way to live. I don't want to do this anymore. I would like to have fun in life. What
But but
the time I have left.
you had that aha moment, right? Like that's a big thing, is to allow yourself to go, this isn't working.